Hi, hello everyone. Welcome. Very good evening for those who have joined us and for those who are still there in the queue waiting for us to approve. And thanks for joining us today during this introductory webinar of 24CARATATHON by Caratlane and Skillenza. So before we deep dive into the process itself, let me just quickly introduce myself. My name is Shakti Singh, and I work as a program manager at Skillenza. Those who are not familiar with what we do here, let me just quickly introduce you to the platform itself. So Skillenza is a go-to platform wherein we help clients find brilliant developers, community evangelism, and find solutions to problems through hackathons and hiring challenges throughout. So we have been into the business for past 6-7 years now, collaborating with some amazing clients and MNCs, just like Caratathon that we are doing currently. So today, before we begin, I would just like to, call our guest speakers of the day, Mr. Muthukumar, Director of Engineering at Caratlane, and Mr. Ajith, Product Manager at Caratlane, who will join us today. So I'll just add them. Hi, Ajith. Hi, Muthu.
Hi.
Hi, Shakti. Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you guys?
Doing good. Thank you.
Great. So before we deep dive into the Caratathon itself, I would just, request both of you to, set the bars, introduce yourself to the audience, to our fellow participants of the hackathon, so that we are familiar with faces down the line through the process. Muthu, maybe you can start.
Sure. Hi everyone. Good evening. So I'm Muthukumar, and I'm being as a director of engineering. So I manage the Caratlane website, apps, and backend system, which are very customer experience focused. And today, yeah, it's great to meet all of you through Skillenza in this forum. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to this webinar. My name is Ajith. I head the product team at Caratlane. So in simple terms, product team kind of bridge the gap between the business and the development community. So developing technology products to enable a better customer experience is our only goal. So yeah, I manage that team. Thank you.
Great. It is already exciting for me, guys. I hope everybody else is excited who has joined us, and I can see smiling faces of our speakers too, who are equally excited as we are today. So, without any further ado, what I would take this flow is like, why don't you guys start it on a very low scale? Tell us about more about Caratlane and why this hackathon. What are there for the challenges for people to accept? How should they think alike? How should they move throughout the process itself? So maybe if you guys can move us and walk us through the whole process itself.
Sure, Shakti. So, yeah, we are all also equally excited to be part of this hackathon process. And I think we will take everybody through the structured walkthrough of whatever the Caratlane is and what this webinar represents and what kind of problems the hackathon participants will be solving. So, can you pull up the slides? Yeah.
For sure. It is right there with you.
Okay. Yeah, let's go to the next one. Thanks, Shakti. And once again, welcome all the participants who are part of this webinar. Let me give you a quick overview about Caratlane, and most of you might have read the name, done your research. But Caratlane is India's first and largest omni-channel jewelry player. This term omni-channel needs kind of a bit explanation, because you kind of able to experience the same kind of experience across all the channels, right? That's what omni-channel means. And Caratlane is pioneer in this space, not only in the jewelry but across the omni-channel space, the e-commerce space, the retail space, right? So you will get to know more about this in a while. Uh, Caratlane's journey started like 14 years ago in 2008. Right now, as we speak today, we have inaugurated our 167th store in Lucknow. So we are that big across India, and we serve close to 8 countries international as well. Let me quickly take you through what we have evolved as a company as well. So just can you move to the next slide, Shakti? So, see, we started in 2008 with the core objective of democratizing the jewelry buying online, right? Jewelry was not available for buying online anywhere. That was unheard of. Such a precious metal buying online was nowhere heard of. And even that too in India, where India is highly an jewelry or gold market. That's when our founder, Mr. Mithun Sachiti, who comes from a well-known jewelry family, he collaborated with the other co-founder, Mr. Srinivas Gopalan. This was in 2008. Srinivas Gopalan is a technology entrepreneur. Mithun is from the jewelry background. Both of them sat together and thought of an idea. Why don't we bring the jewelry experience buying online? That's when Caratlane was born. This was as early in 2008. Then we started expanding when Tiger Global started investing in Caratlane. This happened in 2011. So then we started realizing that on still jewelry is a very high touch experience product. Customers still wants to feel the product before they make a purchase. That's when realization kicked in. So our retail presence is mandatory for customers to go to a store and see a product. So our first store was opened in Delhi, Greater Kailash in 2012. Uh, that's the first realization that still the touch and feel is needed. One is making customers come to a store and experience the product. The other is we taking our product to the customer's home. That opened up for our try at home functionality, which where a jewelry consultant take the products customer like, walk into customer's home, show the product, and make the purchase. Okay, so this is the second evolution after stores and then try at home. Our first kind of store were more an experience center than a traditional store, right? You walk into a store, you see a lot of products, and you buy one and walk out of the store. That's a typical retail experience. But Caratlane did not behave in the same way. The entire catalog of products was available for online for anybody to see. This first set of stores were behaving like an experience store where one could experience what a product looks like. They still may not be able to complete the purchase journey in the store. That was our initial journey with stores. Then same time we started shipping faster to customers. So customer, what do they experience in a store is touch and feel. The other one is immediate delivery, right? So the immediate delivery we started experimenting similar to Amazon in the early 2013, where 1 day, 2 day shipping was even available. So today you see lot of close to 60-65% of the products are available within 2 days time frame for any customers within the large metros. That's how we have evolved, right? And it's worth noting that Caratlane is pioneer in many of these stuff. As in, they were the first to do this. buying a solitaire online was never heard of. And today, knowing a price breakup of a jewelry product, how much gold you have in a product, and what's the rate of the gold today, how much diamond is there, what's the making charge. This is called a price breakup. Today it's ambiguous. Every jeweler shows this, right? In the early 2010s, it was unheard of, and Caratlane wanted to break that myth in the market. The pricing is very transparent that anybody can have a view about the pricing. This is in the early 2010s I'm speaking. So Caratlane was one of that pioneer in doing and transparent pricing and then open pricing, honor pricing policy to the customers. Then everybody follows suit. This is more a product and technology audience, so it's worth mentioning that. And we took our stab at VR AR in the early 2015, where we launched our app with a virtual try-on. Customer can choose a earring and see how it uh, appears on the face. You all of you might have seen the lens card, where the lens card app allows you to wear the product like virtual look. So that was developed by in-house by Caratlane in 2015, and experience like we started experimenting that as long as that. You might not see this today in the apps, but there are reasons behind it why we choose to remove that feature. So the other major development in the history of Caratlane came in 2016, where Titan chose to invest in the company. So now we are a subsidiary of Titan. The entire the stakes from Tiger Global has been acquired by Titan. So Titan is the majority shareholder in the company. Now, at the same time, in 2015-16, we started realizing that retail store cannot be just an experience center. Customers want instant gratification. They need the product immediately, right? That's a realization which kicked in from our understanding from the last 4 or 5 years journey in 2015. So we wanted stores not only be an experience center, but as well sell the product to the customer. And we wanted to make that immediate gratification. So, and at the same juncture, Titan started investing in us, which owns the bigger brand called Tanishq. So I think all of you as part of this webinar should be aware of Tanishq. So with the help of Tanishq Group as well as Caratlane's understanding from its past years, then Caratlane started investing in more stores, more retail presence across the company. Today, we have 160 plus stores across 60 cities in India. That's how the retail presence is. So, um, okay, so this is the journey in 2015-16. Now, Caratlane started catering to the other segments, the fashion jewelry, the non-gold jewelry, the price-conscious fashion segment, which is in 2018 we launched Shaya, which is our sister brand, focusing on silver jewelry, right? And uh, also we were shipping to international audience as early as 2015, but in 2020 we launched our own subsidiary which is in the US. It's called the Studio C. Now it owns a separate website called caratlane.us, which primarily caters to the audience in USA and Canada. So that's have been the journey so far. The last one of our experiment is introducing an ecosystem for making renting a jewelry, right? That's add-on, which was our recent innovation in 2011, 2021. So customers don't want to buy this, but wants to use it for a function. They can choose to rent an jewelry from Caratlane and then use it for 4 days and give it back. This was an experiment which was done primarily only in Mumbai. That has been the journey so far. It's worth noting why we mention Omnichannel so much. So I'll take you guys through what is Omnichannel, what does Caratlane does so special about it. Shakti, let's move on to the next slide. Yeah. Okay, so see what does omni-channel means is giving the convenience to the customer to experience the same experience across all the channels, right? And We want customers across every touch point in their journey to experience the same. Let me give an example. We have 5 touch points. Customer come and discover a product. They want to try it, and they want to buy the product. They want the product to be delivered, and they want a post order experience or service experience. Right? These are the 5 touch points: discovery, trial, buying, delivery, and the service. Right? These 5 touch points can happen any across any platform. It can happen in their home. It can happen on a digital platform. It can happen on a store. Right? And Caratlane's aim is to give the same kind of experience across the platform, irrespective of how the customer choose to interact with us. That's very particular to Caratlane. And if you see, let's say, a big brand like Amazon is very famous in giving an seamless experience in the digital platform. They still don't have the retail presence across India. And the other brands like, say, Reliance or the bigger retail stores don't have that online presence, right? Very few brands, let's say Lenskart or Nika, have this kind of an omni experience. But not only in India, across the globe, we can proudly say that Caratlane is one of the top omni-channel player. If you visit our website or to book a try-at-home appointment or go to a store, you kind of can experience the same kind of experience I'm speaking about. That's what today we have evolved. Um, Now, in the pandemic, customers don't want to visit a store and don't want an consultant to come to the home. Then, what could be the other option is we launched a live video service where the customer and their family can see the product at the convenience of their home with and see the product real time, um, surrounded by their loved ones, right? So that's how various channels we are present. And uh, any customer who is using one channel is not differentiated in terms of pricing, in terms of experience, in terms of any of these 5 touch points. That's where Caratlane stands right now. So uh, yeah, as a participant in the webinar, it's very important to know this, because all our problem statements also is focused on that aspect, and that's where the digital product and technology team is also striving towards. Right. So yeah, let's move on. Okay, so see, when Caratlane started in 2008 itself, it was an online-only company, right? So digital is in the DNA of Caratlane. Digital is the core of what Caratlane does. It's very right to say Caratlane is a digital-first company. Right? Any initiative we think has always been enabled by technology. We think for scale on day one itself. We don't experiment and fail and then redo. Whatever we do, technology backbone is always inbuilt. Even if you go to a store, you can see that the digital presence being there. If even if a consultant comes to your home to show your product, you can feel that. So Caratl's digital team is comprising of the engineering team, the UI designers, the product team, the marketing team is all core to what Caratlane does, right? So it's very important to note the digital team enables what Caratlane is today and most of the Omni experience. Yeah, let's move on. So over the years, the Shakti, move to the next slide. Over the years where we were started jewelry, we were introspecting to ourselves, is Caratlane is in the business of selling jewelry. We are not actually. What jewelry represents in anybody's buying journey or anybody's life is an emotion, right? You might be gifting your mom with your first salary, or you might be presenting your wife on your anniversary, or gifting your loved ones on their birthday. So whatever form it is, or buying something for yourself to commemorate a memorable moment. So it represents an emotion. The jewelry is not a jewel anymore. it represents an emotion which they want to carry forward in their entire life, right? So Caratlane is in the business of helping customers express their emotions to their loved ones. Right now, in the form of jewelry, it could morph later into various forms. And how could a technology enable this? And how could technology enable Caratlane to help customers express their emotion? Is kind of the bigger objective which the product development folks at Caratlane are moving towards. Yeah, let's move on. What does it mean for the digital team is how do you make the entire buying experience, the entire capturing emotion, transferring emotion, the entire buying journey beautiful? How can technology enable this at scale? We don't want to make an impact in the life of a single customer, but across millions of customers, right? And consistently and like over and over above, right? So that's how we how do we enable this delivering emotions at scale, and how do we want to keep on improving that experience is where the core of digital functions is striving towards. And this hackathon is how do you as a participant is going to help Caratlane achieve its objective. Yeah. So yeah, so I think enough about Caratlane. Let's jump into the hackathon and the problem statement, which I know you guys are most excited about. Um, yeah, Shakti. So you want to give a brief about the hackathon?
Yeah, for sure. So we alongside with Caratlane, we have shook hands and brought this opportunity to you guys, wherein you guys can simply go onto the website itself. I'll put it across on the chat for those who are new and for those who have already registered for the hackathon. It is just a run through of the problem statements that you can think on what lines are we expecting you to propose your MVPs and concept notes overall. So for that, we are still open up for the registrations till a few days from now onwards, and this last concept note submission will end in the first week of December. So before that, if you are an hackathon enthusiast, you love solving problems, you are a developer, you look forward to such opportunities. So this is what exactly you should go and give it a try. So this hackathon is open for all. It has a team limitation. So one, if you're a solo performer, if you're a solo contributor, you can also be a part of this. Just name yourself as a team and be there with us. So throughout the process, you can go through the timelines on the website itself. I'll share the link in few minutes from now on the chat itself. Meanwhile, we would just like to know from you, Ajith, why a hackathon and why we are doing this. What is the sole purpose of this hackathon?
Sure. So as I mentioned, the digital teams, the product development teams is core of what Caratlane does and what differentiates Caratlane. We have a large digital function inside the organization as well. But we want to give a try to the external participants to see what kind of new ideas are coming in and how we can solve the same customer problems in a different way, in a much exciting way. I think you will get a more sense when I take you through the problem statements. Yeah, let's go to the first problem statement. So we have three problem statements with us, which you can choose to solve either one of them, right? So the details will be published in the Skillenza site, and you can go through this. Yeah, let me take you through problem statement number one, which is inventory management. So we have stores in 60 cities. Yeah, so I am from Chennai. So we have 6 stores in Chennai. A city like Bangalore has 20 stores, and like there will be 20 stores in Mumbai as well. All the metros will have a lot of stores. You can have a look at the stores by yourself. But this stores is very peculiar. So we have two kinds of stores. One is at a high street, which is right away on the road. The other is within the mall itself. The mall stores are typically a small format store, and the high street stores are medium to large farmer store. And when I so to give you a comparison of the size, typical stores will range around 1,000 to 1,200 square feet, right? Size of a medium sized two-bedroom, right? That's kind of the size of a store. Large farmer stores, 2,000 square feet and above are coming up, but on an average, that's how a store looks like in Caratlane, because see the entire catalog of Caratlane is around 8,000 products, but any store might have close to 1,000 products with them, right? That's on an average, right? They might not have the full category, because not every product is liked by every customers in every region. So whichever is the topmost 1,000 products relevant for that particular city is being kept at that store, right? So that's a brief about how inventory is at the store. One more information you might want to know is, if you go to a retail store and say you want to take a Britannia biscuit, and there are 100 quantities of that biscuit in that store, now that's SKU, which stands for stock keeping unit, that one SKU has 100 products, right? That is so different when you come to jewelry. Each piece is uniquely tracked. If there are 10 pieces of one SKU, each piece will differ in weight of gold and the diamond being there in the jewelry. So each piece will be differently priced, even though the style is the same, the design is the same. Each one piece might be done with 3 grams, one is at 2.9 grams, one is at 3.1 grams, right? So each unique piece has to be identified, right? In terms of Caratlane terminology, we call each product a barcode, a unique barcode, right? So 1,000 such barcodes are kept at any store at any given point in time. And now this problem statement is, how do we identify which product is where? There are different trays, different like merchandising elements where the products are kept. It is kept in a table, it's kept in a display tray. So this 1,000 products could be kept in various places. And why this is important is, Caratlane does not cater, a Caratlane store does not cater to the store walk-in customers alone. It caters to the try at home in that same city. It caters to the online orders across the country, right? So the same inventory is being consumed for the store's customers viewing and buying purpose, the same city's try at home purpose, the across the nation's fulfillment purpose. So the speed in which we identify a barcode and ship it back to the warehouse or ship it back to the customer is very important. Today, we are not able to identify a piece by the barcode. The piece which is physically lying in a store and the digital information, which is the barcode number, you are not able to identify where exactly is that barcode, right? And that's the problem number one. And barcode is a unique 8 or a 12 character number given for each individual piece, and it could physically lie anywhere across the store. The problem statement number one, I'm reiterating, is to how do we identify digitally where this piece is physically available. So a store consultant should be able to see this information digitally, and within few seconds should be able to pick that product and hand it over to the logistics to ship it, right? This expedites the delivery. This can give a faster experience to the customer, which is in terms of the entire omni experience, faster delivery is the single biggest pain point for customers, right? With the advent of Swiggy, Zomato, Zepto, the expectation for customers for faster delivery is even larger now. So to identify a piece exactly where it is lying, in a warehouse it's different, in a store it's different. The store serves for warehousing purpose as well as physical viewing purpose. A piece which is there at the physical viewing station, how it can be digitally identified is kind of the problem statement. Should we take questions now, Shakti, or later?
Yeah, I've got a question to ask. It's coming from the audience itself about this. So it'll be better the way we discuss it out and finish it right away. So
Okay,
and
go
if
on.
something comes up at the end, we'll also take that. So Suman from asked, is the rack and the roll labeled at your store? So when you put up something on in your store and you mark it at your inventory management system. So is there any marks or label that is being done on the
Yeah.
inventory part?
So I understand. I think somebody should have an understanding about warehouse management. This is exactly done at the warehousing stuff. There are two concepts: rack and a tray. Which rack the inventory is and which tray it is. But as I mentioned, the store does not solve for the warehousing purpose. That it is a very small portion of that, but the main purpose is the display, right? There are names available to each individual tracks, but that is not digitally captured, right? That is also one of the problem, and it might not be that easy to capture digitally because let's say in a peak Friday evening, 10 customers are walking, that they could choose to see various products, and the store consultant may or may not put that in the same track, same tray, right? So we don't have that information right now, the from a store tracking perspective, but we do have that at a warehouse level.
Understood. That was, I guess, that is pretty clear to you, Suman, and the others who have the similar question in their heads. So yeah, we can move on to the second one. Meanwhile, if you go through,
Sure.
read out the whole. Okay, there is one more question. Let's take that. So Mahesh
Do you
Kumar,
have bin numbering system? I can understand the products may not be
I can
kept in
put
the
it up for you.
same tray. Okay, so I saw that question.
Yeah.
Yeah, so uh, see, we have each individual piece can be identified uniquely. As I already told, a same product with 10 quantities, the 10 quantities can be uniquely identified. And so that is called barcode in our parlance, in Caratlane's term, or stock code. Okay, so that's the code we have, and all the inventory available in a system in the store is available digitally in our internal system, as well as it is available for customers viewing in the website and apps, right? Even now, if you go to Caratlane's website or the app, you select one of the store, you can know which 1,000 pieces are identified, and that's public information, right? So we have at that level, but unfortunately we don't have which product lies in which tray level. And if you guys try to go to a store and see, it might not be practically possible as well. So yeah, you might want to think beyond that.
Great. We have another question coming up from LinkedIn Live. So it's on your screen now. So somebody, I don't know, the name is not
If I
mentioned. So
use,
if,
yeah,
yeah,
if I search for an SKU from Bangalore, it should list all the items of the SKU across the country. Okay. See, okay, I think somebody misunderstood that. Sorry, I have to correct this. This problem is an internal problem fixing, not what question you are asking correlates to a problem fixing for the end customer, right? Today it is fixed already. As an end customer, if you put your PIN code, you can see the SKU available across the stores near surrounding your PIN code. You can choose to, let's say, if you are in Bangalore, you can choose to see a product which is in a Delhi store as well, right? But if you put your PIN code, we will automatically show all the stores available in Bangalore, and choose to show that. That problem is solved. This is an internal problem, which is if I know which SKU, which barcode, I want to know where it is. How do we build a system to keep this track with considering the store traffic, store viewing pattern in mind? Like customers will be randomly coming and walking to the store. The consultants will be randomly showing this, but finally, the product has to go back to the tray, right? How do you build a system that keeps track of real time tracking of where the piece is exactly within the store? Okay. In want of time, let's move on to the next one. If there are more
yeah,
questions, we'll take it later. Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay, so this is the reason why we have been speaking about. Sorry. Yeah, yeah. While we are speaking about omni-channel experience a lot till now, so customers still choose to buy from a store, but as like you and me, every discovery process, every search process happen online. So customers browse what they want to see. They browse. Let's say if you are in Bangalore and that's a store in Indranagar, before even coming to the store, you know what pieces are there, right? And somebody might be interested. But when the customer is walking into the store in Indranagar, we don't know who is that customer is, right? How do we identify customers who is walking into a store? By using their online journey, right? And now there are two type of customers could have been logged in already in their apps or website, or customers could have been just browsing and not given their phone or email, but the phone in which the browsing have happened is with them, right? So how do you make the customer, or how do you identify customer, right? I don't want to narrow down on any solution aspect, but I'm just giving you some hints. The, the browsing happens on the phone. It could be logged in or not logged in, but how do you make customers do something at the store? By that you essentially identify who the customer is, right? The end objective is identifying customer, but how do you do that? It's tricky. So there are ways, right? So I will share something which we are doing right now. We ask customers a mobile number, and if the customer is already logged in, we kind of know the browsing journey that already exists. Okay, but think about beyond that. How do you even get a customer enter a mobile number? Think about, if you are a customer, will you be okay in sharing the mobile number? At what stage, right? Think about all that aspect, and really, is that what is needed to capture a customer's browsing journey, right? This is a very interesting problem. So we'll see if some questions are coming.
I guess this question is from previous, problem statement. So Manish Kumar asked again, is it ensured that every block is fixed for a specific item to kept in it, or is it changed? Can be changed.
Okay. Yeah, good question. So every block in the store is assigned for a particular group of items, category of item. Let's say earrings below 20K, or daily wear earrings, or party wear earrings, or couple engagement rings, right? This group of items, we call that as a category or a product type. So that grouping of items is kept separately in a block, right? But it could have 50 pieces, 100 pieces. Where that 50 pieces, there could be 4 trays within that block. It could be in any tray, right? And yeah, grouping of items exist, but within that grouping, let's say the 50 items, 100 items, they could be placed anywhere within that. So any questions coming on online experience journey? So customers can browse in various platforms. One is they can browse in our apps. They can browse in our website, either in the desktop or in the mobile. I think you can. The logged in browsing on the desktop is fine, but unlogged in browsing in the desktop can be ignored. But we are primarily focused on mobile as a browsing device. Somebody has browsed it. How do we identify them at the store, right? That's kind of the second problem statement.
Got it. Let's quickly move on to the third one. We do not have any questions so far coming in. So let's take up the questions at the end if something is there regarding this problem statement. Let's just quickly move to the
Okay.
third one.
Yeah, Muthu has joined. Muthu, yeah, why don't you take this?
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Ajith. I think so. Good evening, folks. All the innovators there. I think Caratlane, just taking 1 or 2 minutes to where I wanted to cover up the pitch, right? I think as a company, I think our essential intent, that means like we wanted to be showing a great experience to customers, right? and to buy the precious jewelry designs on, say, multiple channels, right? And where the technology is what the enable, right, to give the world-class experience through the products they are trying to cover up. And when the company is growing at, say, every 4 to 5 years at a 10x scale, right, and technology as well as the digital function, right, maybe there is always be a law, right? Every scale, I think 18 months or so, I think we need to scale it to 2x. So in this case also Caratlane per se as a digital team, how we can do the platform as well as the feature and how we can give the experience also almost 3x to 4x of what company grows. When say company grows 10x in 5 years, then that means like we need to do 30x to 40x kind of a scale on say platform as well as the feature set which you are giving, right? So that they are giving the brand that embracement as well as the getting the value right out of from the brand. So that tells our digital function, right, how it is very important. So through this kind of a collaboration where we get all your brains and thing, right, to see the fraud prevention when you are going or like talking about high value products, right? It can be say jewelry itself. There are tend to happen even all these security and as well as I think compliance point of view, right? There is it tends to happen like it can be through digitally or it can be like more offline also, right? What other ways where we can find set of models as well as the hints and insights, right? How we can find through is there any demographic information like maybe pin code or like particular area or like is there are anything like which are prone to happen, right? Or is there are any ways to find the digital transaction before even or in the journey of it, right? How we can find it, or maybe once the order confirmed before even delivered, right? How we can find it. There are multiple other payment models also where many orders, right, which are getting fulfilled. It can the payment can be in credit card, it can be in UPI now, and there are other ways you get a gift card and then how we are using it, right? And there may be we are also taking jewelry to try at home and I mean meeting the customers and fulfilling and even stores also where there are orders, right? As an omni-channel, it can start the journey can be it can be discovered from any of this flow, and then it can be purchased in one of the flow and delivered in. It can be to your home or you come to the store or like you ask for a try at home, right? So there are multiple channels. How we can build this as a unique way through some data sets, right? How we can find the fraud kind of activities or like the happening of it, right? It can be less than some 0.1%, right? But the if you put it into in terms of the value, it's going to be huge on the brand reputation as well as how we can get the customers, right? Keep believing that I think we are part of a one of the greatest brand in India, and we are under that. And how we can keep building that reputation, right, through digitally. So that's where I think this whole fraud prevention, and we wanted to show it as a problem statement, and so we wanted to get all your brains and thought process on that.
Great. Thanks, Muthu. Before I deep down on this third problem statement of ours, so there are questions for Ajith coming in regarding the second problem statement, and also the first one. There are people. So Girish asked, how does identifying customers work in places where it could be seen as a privacy breach? So this is, I guess,
Okay,
for the second
so
one.
see, yeah, and I'll answer for this and Tyler's question. You mean without taking the number? Both of them together will answer this. See, we don't want to enter customers' privacy. We don't want to take customers' information in an intrusive way, right? We want to get an explicit permission and do this, right? We have to, if customer is willing to share the number, like so be it, right? How do you design a flow that customer is willing to share or do some information which will give information to us, right? And definitely not having some spooky ways to do this. That's not the intent. We have a genuine, like, what will we do to excite customer to do something at the store? So we capture that information. That could be one of the ways. It need not be without taking the customer's number. It could be even if it involves taking a customer's number, so be it. And but taking customer's number will go to only customers who are logged in. The not logged in customers will be loosed out. But even if it's a very good solution which involves taking customers in number, and customers don't feel any like second thought about giving the number, that could be a brilliant solution, right? And that could also be very helpful, because you think about it, if you ask for a customer's number, how many people will give for it? That's also is there. For both of that questions, you're free to think about anything, but we have to do this in an explicit way, not in an yeah, we need not mask anything and do something. If customer is not willing to share, we are not going to take this. We will take if customers are going to willing to share. So major problem of your problem solving is how do you make this workflow or that solution exciting for customers to share information, either directly or do some action so you get that information automatically. Right? That's how to see this problem.
Great. I hope Tyler and Girish, your questions are answered, and now you're more you're looking into it on a different perspective overall. And give it out your thoughts. If you still have any questions, anybody from the audience, shoot it right away onto the chat. We'll be taking it. So anybody who's having questions regarding fraud prevention, Muthu has explained it throughout. Okay, we've got a question. So maybe any one of you can take this up. I guess this is regarding the second wherein we are acquiring the customers. How would the collected personal information be used apart from providing recommendation?
So I think this is related to the second problem statement. Okay, so it solves for three use cases. One is obviously yes, recommendations, which the customer's interested product is there, or a similar looking product or similar uh, recommended product is there at the store. It's easy for the consultant to pitch in. Yes, obviously that's the first use case. Second one is to reduce their billing cycle. The If the customer is interested in not just browsing but buying a product, if you know the customer, the billing time is like that fast, right? And we want to make that experience faster. The third use case is stitching the offline journey back to the online, right? And customer was interested in purchasing something, but they found it was not there. And if when the customer is still interested to buy in a different channel, say an online or a try at home, we could use the information collected at the store to like give more information on an online browsing, right? So it solves for three use cases. Yeah, that's on that question.
I guess we've got a question for Muthu as well. Manish Kumar asks,
Yeah.
can we use their IDs like PAN card or Aadhaar card, which are general identity, cards in India, especially, by our platform for tracking them if any fraud takes place?
There is a compliance need also if you look at jewelry, right? So we cannot ask for every purchase about PAN card or say Aadhaar card. There are possibilities, I think, based on the ticket size, right, or the product you are purchasing, right? So you are only thinking about online as a channel, how we can verify, right? And you will also introduce a friction, say every time for a new user, right? If you're asking for a PAN card or other card, and before even purchasing, how we can get that right to detect it. Are there any other signals or data sets, right? So we use the payment gateways or maybe the location points. And when there is a purchase beyond certain limit with adhering to the compliance, right? It is like if it is like more than 2 lakhs, I guess, I think there is a need where we need to get an address proof. And secondly, there are certain policy thing. Example, if you get a gift card from that, right? I think we are also based on the compliance need, right? We also ask for that ID proof in store where they order online and go to store, right, to buy it also. That we kind of get it. Uh, this is something I think ID verification is like, again, it kind of an optional for where how we can get them or like be interested to share that kind of information, and how we can be so secure, right, to store that information, and it's not be used for other than, I think, this only for this compliance needs, right? Then that also I think we need to make sure. Uh, to us, I think this problem statement is like we cannot only think about KYC as a point of view. Maybe we need to look beyond also, right? What other ways we can get them or like so detect, right? This is like possibilities. It can be because of say IP address, location, or maybe gender, demographic, or like maybe different other data set which can come from payment gateway, or like say historical evidence, or like say other registration, right? Are they trying to register recently and trying to make a big purchase, right? So there are multiple other things. This Aadhaar card and PAN card, right? Maybe we need to see it from the compliance point of view also, whether we can take it for everything from e-commerce or like say online point of view.
I'll also add to this. Okay, so there is, as Muthu told, there is a regulatory compliance. Beyond 50,000 cash purchase, we have to collect PAN card, and beyond 2 lakhs, any payment mode purchase, we have to collect PAN card. Okay, so or even Aadhaar card, any KYC that is mandatory, needed by law. So we will only collect whatever is mandated by law, and we will not collect for everybody. That is. It's going to be a very tough ask. That's almost like a no-go. But take some cues from what Muthu told. It could be purchasing patterns. There could be categories of purchase, and whatever is an easier for liquidation standpoint, right? And uh, what's a source of a fraud detection from a public information standpoint, and how could we leverage it? What is an area pin code wise analytics, and a lot of stuff can be seen. Yeah, go a little beyond, yeah, beyond that payment stuff alone.
Great. I guess all of the questions are answered, and every one of you now have a different perspective to that. Thank you so much, Mothu and Ajith, to addressing those questions. Let's just move to the next slide. If there are more questions, I'll definitely put those on screen for you guys. Uh,
Yeah, that's an last one is an interesting question. Can you put it up?
yeah, let's just put it across. I was also reading that. Let's just put it across on the screen, and
Yeah.
maybe you guys can answer that.
So definitely yes. Okay. So let me be very clear, and because that information is going to be valuable, what to incentivize is a question of I think you can suggest, and it could be an internal business call, but definitely yes.
Definitely. So just go and get verified yourself at stores and get coupons and certain incentives from Caratlane. And if you don't get that, just check on Ajit's LinkedIn. So we don't have any further questions. So guys, if you still have, we've got a little few time left out. So if you still have any confusions, queries, questions regarding the problem statements or anything about the hackathon process, feel free to post it in the chat. Otherwise, post this webinar. You can also go and register yourself if you are new. I put across and I have marked it. I pinned the chat in the link. So what you can do is you can quickly go check it out, and if you're already registered, go into the discussion box, put your questions there. So we'll be more than happy to answer you there as well. So yeah, so I guess we can wait for a couple of seconds. I guess it was absolutely great talking to technology background people, and the perspective is almost different from normal people that we speak to right every day. So people coming up with so brilliant questions across have a different mindset. Every other person thinks do not think alike. That is what the true value comes in when we do hackathons. This hackathons, it's been online and people have been registering throughout the process. It's been a week's time left that we are also left out of the process. How are you looking forward to the hackathon finales? What are you expecting out of the participants? Overall, have you been through any hackathon processes before? Can let's just talk about our journeys throughout.
See, we are all excited internally, and that's one of the reason we have conducted various hackathons inside for our engineering community folks, and usually it is over a 2 3 day stretch, and the amount of energy that is riding on that 2 3 days is immense, right? You don't know how much energy flows in, right? The people get too excited and like at the stretch start coding for entire 24 hours and so on, right? And we just want to just open that gates for everybody around this time. So that's kind of the intent. Yeah. So I'm excited. I'll keep looking for some innovative solutions out from you folks.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is going to be, I think, third hackathon per se on Caratlane history. I think one we did like in person where it's almost like 36 hours kind of a journey. I think where I think all of them were in Caratlane office, and other, I think we did kind of hybrid where I think some people came to office and some were remotely working, right, and kind of doing. And now it is at a say 10x scale, right? We wanted to reach out to more people through this forum, and this is going to be very exciting. So every a stage when you're scaling or like going to next level, right? It's going to be giving more and more new insights and new perspectives, right? And so that's where I think this kind of getting all the innovators coming in and share or ask. I think there are a good set of I think interesting questions where we also I think reflecting on it. So this is going to be I think very interesting, and again everybody I think whoever joined today and who are going to be participating, and as well as I think whoever is going to be winning, right? So wishing them all the very best, and yeah, yeah,
Great, thank you. That was beautiful. For me, it's like always exciting to run through an hackathon. People coming up with it, interesting ideas and things like we have never thought before by our own, right? That's the beauty of running a hackathon. Maybe this time we are doing it online. Next time we meet in person. We never know, and there's no comparison of an offline hackathon at all because you get to meet the person asking the questions in the chat in front of you. So before we wrap this up, we have got a last question for both of you from Mahesh Kumar again. So it's on your screen now. So do Caratlane is having loyalty cards and programs to its customers.
We do have our Caratlane program is called Exclusive, starting with X. Okay, so but it is not a loyalty program in the traditional sense because this is a program for all customers who choose to register with us and buy with us. It is a points given for not for all the customers without differentiating them. We are also thinking of loyalty program in the traditional sense where we incentivize long loyal customers more than the new customers, right? And programs are in thought process, but yeah, current program is for universal for everybody. They accumulate certain points which they can consume in the next purchase within the next 6 months. That kind of how the program works today.
That's great. So I guess Mahesh Kumar, your question has been answered by Ajith beautifully. So before we wrap it up, I just wanted to thank both of you for joining us and for giving your insights about this hackathon and giving a depth, view about the problem statements. We now have a broader perspective to put it across. This webinar will be live on our hackathon page as well. So whenever you feel free, anybody of your mates or anyone joining us new can go on and check it out there and post your questions in the discussion forum. We'll make sure that these questions are put across to Ajit and Muthukumar and to be answered to you guys. So before we wrap it up, again, a very thank you to Ajit, very thankful to Muthu, both of you. Thank you for joining us. And yeah, and thank you to the audience as well, to the participants as well, for the new folks as well. Thank you so much.
All
thank
the
you so
best,
much.
guys. Go crack it. Bye.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you.
you.
so much. Cheers, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you. Yeah.